radio fans. We are now back in the studio. Stand by for your station announcement. And away we go!
Now, I know you'd love to just sit there and keep being not slim, but we got to work a little today, okay?
Broadcasting channels of the entire world will be cleared. In every continent, in every land, in all the four corners of the earth, the whole world over. Men, and women, and children, of every age and race, and nationality, station, and color. Men of every language ready now to listen to the same voice.
1, 2, is this on?
Finally, a way to combine my love of helping people with my love of hurting people.
So sit back, pop open a cold bottle of Brazilian mineral water, enjoy some poached salmon with capers, and adjust the satellite, because we have a great show.
And there was much rejoicing.
Unleash the fury.
Unleash the fury!
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
Eric Nagel.
Yes, it is. It is Eric Nagel. That is me. E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. Joining me is my buddy Giddles.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Giddles is back. If for some reason the fans love you,
I don't know why.
and you don't really do a whole lot.
I don't even like me.
Gills is an exciting character.
What is your Twitter, dude?
My Twitter is Gittlebase, Gittlebass, and I don't really tweet.
And we're on the floor of New York Comic Con 2014 here at the Javits Center in New York City. And we're actually at booth 127, which is the home to Big Kev's Geek Stuff. And also joining us is Big Kev.
Yes, sir. Here I am.
Hello.
My Twitter is BK Geek Stuff.
And the website?
Is bkgeekstuff.com.
There you go. It's been an exciting con so far. Lots been going on, a lot of big panels. The Birdman panel with Michael Keaton and Edward Norton. That's a huge ordeal.
Yeah.
There was the Tomorrowland panel.
Yep.
That had George Clooney and Hugh Laurie both show up to it.
Yep.
And there was an amazing amount of security around that panel.
There was an extreme amount of security around that panel.
Hugh Laurie was here?
Who Hugh Laurie was?
Wow.
Yes,
The house was in the house.
Wow.
One of the cool things that they did do, though, is every seat had 2 special custom posters made for Big Hero 6.
Yep.
So if you were at that panel, you got the 2 posters.
Wow.
It
They
was
were
really
pretty sweet
exciting.
posters, too. They were, like, really thick, like, nice material.
Next week's show is going to be really good for the Comic-Con special because we've got a lot of people. We talked to Bob's Burgers. We talked to everybody from Big Hero 6. We're going to have Constantine, Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Lauren Cohan from Walking Dead.
Right. Well, that's today.
Oh, yeah.
We have the Archer panel will be there. And there's just so much going on. That's going to be
Gillian
next
Anderson.
week on the show. But for today's show, we have Lauren Cohan from The Walking Dead. She plays Maggie Green. And Giddles was all excited about her being here.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And
Well, who
also,
wouldn't be?
I know.
right.
She's
Like,
lovely.
gorgeous. And Gillian
Very sweet.
Anderson will also be joining us today, promoting her new book, A Vision of Fire. And of course, you try not to do it, but you got to end it with a little bit of X-Files.
And Hannibal.
Yes.
And Hannibal, yes.
Yep.
But I think we talked to her mostly about The Fall, which was an awesome show, and season 2 is coming back. She goes into all of that stuff. What did we see around the con so far today?
Just a lot of just lots of Link costumes and just lots of Poison Ivy costumes.
Oh, I do want to point out, you know what we saw a lot more this year than in years past? Girls like to use this as an excuse to dress very skimpy and very provocative.
Yes.
There's costumes that they're not even trying anymore. They're just walking around in lacy see-through underwear and maybe have a headband on.
Yep.
And that's the
it.
costume.
And they're Iron Man.
Right.
Yeah, I ironed something.
We saw, as we were walking over here, we saw that one girl who was wearing the see-through lace, but it was so far up her ass, it looked like she was wearing nothing.
Unbelievable.
It looked like there was a shoelace going up her butt. I was like, this is not a costume.
Over at Big Kev's Geek Stuff, we're actually working on some new cosplay terms.
Yes.
The first one that we're using is cosplaysy,
Yeah.
which is when you have at least 2 articles that have to do with a character on your person.
Right.
But that's as far as you go. That's just being cosplaysy, is what that is.
Oh, 2 buttons. Oh, look, here's Deadpool and the cast of Walking Dead.
Or no, you'll have like a Boba Fett helmet on and a Boba Fett T-shirt.
Right.
That's your cosplay.
What if you're wearing that new Iron Maiden mask that they put out, but
Uh-huh.
you've got a
Oh,
Big
the
Bang
Eddie?
Theory T-shirt?
Doesn't count. It has to be two related items, like about a singular character.
So like Big Bang Theory and Cosmos would not be a good like crossover.
I don't believe that would be a good. No, that wouldn't qualify based on the definition that we're using. Like, let's take Erox. Erox has a sort of a shirt on there.
It's a mashup shirt of Skeletor and Jack Skellington.
So let's say you had like a Skeletor mask ensemble,
Right.
and you had like an orange belt.
Yeah.
That's just cosplaysy. You're either going to do it all the way or don't do it at all.
Right, because Skeletor didn't wear an orange belt.
I thought he had an orange belt.
No, that was Merman.
Oh, merman. Well, whatever color, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Two things does not a cosplay make, is what I mean.
So you can't dress like Han Solo but wear a Chewbacca mask.
Correct.
Okay.
Not
Correct.
with that attitude.
That is kind of lazy.
That's cosplaysy. That's what that is.
Well, it's a lot to go on today here, a lot of interviews, and we're going to
There's
have
a
to
lot
get to
of
the
stuff.
first one here. Walking Dead Season 5 is out Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East and the West. It just, look it up. How do you not know at this point? And, of course, Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick right after it. But Season 5 is coming up. Season 4 left you at a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
They're trapped in a train car.
How are they gonna get out? What's gonna happen? I don't know. I think there's
Didn't-
gonna be lots of explosions and crazy shit.
Didn't it end something like, they don't know who they're screwing with?
Yeah, they changed the line from they don't know who they're fucking with in the book.
Really?
So,
To the cable TV, sir?
the cable screwing with.
So we got to talk to Lauren Cohan, and it's Cohan with an A, not an E. So if you're looking for her on Twitter,
Yeah.
it's Lauren Cohan, Cohan.
She's actually Irish. It would be Cohan
right.
in Ireland. Cohan.
So let's welcome to the show right now, Lauren Cohan, Walking Dead.
Hey guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
How's it
How's it
going?
going? Good. Make sure I don't give any
No.
post Ep1.
Oh, you could.
Super spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel free.
Ay caramba.
So we are here. Well, you know her as Maggie Green, but to her friends and her family know her as Lauren Cohan, and it's Cohan with an A, not an E.
Yeah.
So if you're
And it's
looking,
actually co-hand, like hand without a.
so if you're looking for her
D.
on Twitter, remember A, not an E.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Walking Dead. I don't think anybody out there doesn't know what The Walking Dead is, but for those who don't, it's a really cool zombie show. It's based on graphic novels, and it's worldwide popular, and I'm sure that Lauren can't go anywhere without somebody recognizing her.
Kind of true. Yeah. But especially when we're in Times Square, we did GMA this morning, and Stephen Yun, Michael Cudlitz, and I were doing an interview there in the middle of Times Square. It was actually kind of crazy and awesome. And they all recognized us, but that's because we were filming a TV show in the middle of Times Square.
It's a good thing that trouble doesn't follow you like it follows your character in the show, because I was looking on your Twitter and I saw you might have been near Central Park, and you ran into a school trip or something like that. So you took a photo with them. And I'm like, oh my God, those kids are in such danger now because you're around there, and then you walk away and then the zombies get them.
Psych. There you go, kids.
It would probably been in a lot more danger if Rick was there. Rick brings danger everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Is that how it's perceived?
I mean, as a follower of the graphic novels, it always
Okay.
seems it's like, hey, look, it's Rick finds a bunch of people, goes to town, and then it all goes to hell.
He means so well.
He just wants everyone to be happy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just very difficult because we keep wanting to kind of balance the cautiousness with the sort of not brevity, but bravery that you need to find somewhere. It's quite tricky, actually, especially right now where the group's left, because we're up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah, this was definitely the first season where it kind of left off in a very precarious situation where it's not kind of like overloading to like, oh, like this is where the show is going to go. This is like, no, it is going to start in this train car and it's going to be crazy.
Yes.
So,
Well, what was the thinking behind that? Because usually the seasons, as Brian said, are usually kind of bookend. Like, here's the start, here's the end, and then there's a fresh start, and then but zombies will be there all the time. But this, you're stuck in. Well,
In the
it's not a
train car,
spoiler.
yeah.
You're stuck in the train car, and in the city, and that's where they left you. What made them decide to do a cliffhanger?
It's really interesting because I was thinking back to the beginning of season 3 and how happily it started. And we had Rick learning how to farm and Herschel teaching him how to plow. And then group goes through such hell, and we lose Herschel, we lose a lot of good people, we're thrown out of the prison, we're on the road, I don't know where my sister is, I have found my husband, but we haven't stopped to process anything, and we're trapped in a train car with really evil people keeping us there. And I think this is the first time we've gotten to pick up, because we do pick up season 5 seconds after we leave season 4. I don't know. I mean, I think I just forgot what the answer to the question I was actually going to say now, but it doesn't matter, because what I was going to say is how exciting
Would you like
it was
me to repeat
end.
the question?
Can you repeat the question, please? No, but Rick leaves us in season 4 saying you're screwing with the wrong people, and they really are, and we get to kick tush this year, so it's good.
Season 5 is this Sunday, 9 p.m. on AMC. What do we know about these people that you're messing with here, this group?
There's not that much I can say about the termites.
Okay.
But they don't... Everybody in this world has kind of done what they've needed to do to create some semblance of society and safety. And this group has their own version of sustenance. And we'll see this year, right off the bat, what they consider that to be. And it kind of posits this whole interesting journey for us as a group of, is it better to survive or to be civilized? And so you'll see where that kind of
goes.
conflicts. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting in the show because like all the groups kind of have their own dynamic. Like Rick has his group. It's like everyone's trying to, team up and, work together to stay ahead. Whereas like Joe's group that they ran into last season where Daryl ended up, joining them, they had their very own, like, we claim this is ours. So it's going to be interesting to see like how the termites blend with Rick's crew and like how that goes down. That's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah, it doesn't go well.
Yeah, I figured it's probably not going to go well.
Yeah, it doesn't go well.
Is there anything you could tell us about Garrett? Other than he's really creepy?
He's very creepy. Andrew J. West is a very great addition to our cast, and nobody is what they seem. I mean, he is a great addition, but his character isn't what he seems. But what I can say is that it's been good for us because we go to some extremely dark places this season that I just don't think would have been possible before, but we've all been together on this journey for so long now. And it's so funny. I'm like such a spoiler expert now, non-spoiler expert. But it's crazy. We're going to meet a lot of new people. And for my character especially, there's going to be these big... We didn't see her process anything since Herschel had died. We didn't really see Glenn process any of that. We just kind of saw them come back together. But there are people that Maggie will meet this year that will bring up these questions of faith and kind of flash back her to... Not actual flashbacks, but flashback her to season 2 and to... sort of who she started as, and that's been a really good journey for me.
Do you think we see the return of Morgan in this season? Because he kind of comes and goes in the seasons.
It's almost as much of a mystery to us as it is to the viewers. I mean, it's somewhat kept under wraps. I don't think it's impossible that he will resurface.
Yeah, because there's really no real news about what he's doing and where he goes, and right now the status if he's alive or not.
Yeah,
So,
Morgan is my favorite character.
Morgan's pretty great.
I mean, it's just the element of surprise and kind of this. It's like this little spider web. You know what I mean? It goes from one place, and then you just like you're asking when is he going to reappear again? Yeah.
His whole
there's some
episode
big
last
answer
season
in
was
that.
brilliant. Like his episode was so good.
Oh my gosh.
It was so great.
Yeah, it was crazy. Between that episode and then between the Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are two of my favorite. I mean, it's funny even knowing, how it goes, and it's like a moth to a flame. You have to go and watch these things again, even though it's just going to make you sob your guts out. But it's cathartic. So Yeah.
So I had a question because you were saying about like how it's like started getting a little darker. Does that have to do with like the change of like Scott Gimple as coming in as the showrunner? Because I've noticed like I feel like when he came in, it kind of like took a little darker turn. No, I feel like he's a lot closer to the source material. There was a lot of shots that were like shot for shot.
I love
like
that you
out of the
noticed that,
comic
yeah.
book. Like I knew like before the last episode what was going to happen with Rick and those guys just based on the shot of the guy looking in the window. Because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I know what's happening. And it was kind of like my little red wedding because I didn't read Game of Thrones. I was like, this is going to be great. No one knows what's going to happen. And I don't know. I
by
feel
the
like,
way, just to go into Game of Thrones for 1 second,
Yeah.
I so carefully avoided spoilers because I was really behind the loop and then I caught up and I literally wished I hadn't watched the episode by myself because I was screaming. I was like, how did I never find this out? This is awesome. I'm so terrible. But but yeah, with our show, I love that because there was this another frame that I noticed when the virus goes around the prison, and there's this one moment where Glenn is sort of holding his hand up, and I think that's a direct frame from the comic as well. But I forgot what your first part.
Oh
of
no, I
your
was just
question
saying like, is
it's
it going to be more
Scott
than
Gimple, Okay, this is what's really cool is that Scott has this like. By the way, the greatest sense of humor, and you wouldn't know that because this is the show he's running, but the greatest sense of humor, and he has such an interesting way of kind of delivering the philosophy behind this and like the reason we struggle to maintain civilization or life and he's gotten to this great place, and I know it's partly by us all being invested in the show and getting to to go there now, but I love the way he poses these questions and still keeps it in this really just sort of horrific world. It's faithful to the people that love that thrill and excitement, and it's faithful to the human story of it. But yeah, I mean, I think the darkness comes from being more invested in the characters. Those episodes disturb me because I know those people and like that's what Carol had to do. But I only was that invested in what Carol had to do because I've been watching her change for 4 years already.
Yeah.
And it's like it's such a crazy journey what she goes through. And then this year what she goes through is even, I mean, it's like I still am constantly like I relish in the discovery and in the presentation of our characters to ourselves. You know what I mean? And it's just like, if this person goes here, great, I'll help find the path to it. But that's, these kind of, I don't know if that makes sense. But
it
yeah,
it makes
great.
sense.
Season 4 had some amazing moments where there was some shocking deaths that happened. Herschel,
Yeah.
obviously. Lizzie, and how do you say her sister's
Micah.
name?
Micah.
Micah. That's, we were trying to figure out the governor, obviously. And then there's some introduction of some new characters, some that are on the AMC website, which I wasn't sure if we met everybody yet, but like Abraham, Rosita, Eugene. You said there's more people that we're going to meet in this season here. Does this affect your relationship with Glenn, or does this specifically impact where your character is going in the next season?
It specifically impacts where both my character goes and where the whole group goes this season. So the introduction of Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene is played by Michael Cudlitz and Josh McDermott and Christian Stratos, are all helping this group go towards a much bigger goal to save humanity, which is this goal of Washington, D.C., where there may or may not be a cure for all of us and for the zombie virus. We don't get there because we're trapped in Terminus right now. But another character who's great is Seth Gilliam, who plays the priest in season 5, and that's been, I mean, he is such a phenomenal actor. It's the character is incredible, and Seth himself is just like he just blows us away. So we're really excited for everybody to meet. See more of these characters and to meet the new ones.
That's awesome.
Did you have any...
Because he plays Gabriel Stokes, right?
Yeah,
That's such a great character. Yeah.
It's great. It's because Maggie gets to sort of enter into this whole conversation again about faith, and it's cool.
That's fantastic. Is there going to be any kind of conflict between Maggie, Tara, and Glenn, being that Tara came from the governor's camp and the execution of Herschel?
Yes. We're going to see that brought up.
Okay.
I can't say, how that's going to go, but we
don't.
we definitely go into that territory. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Walking Dead season 5 on AMC Sunday 9:00. It's interesting that they're one of the few networks that still post 8:00 Central. because a lot of networks don't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, all right, let's promo 8 o'clock Central. Because then it just repeats. It's not like it goes through the time zones. It restarts at 9 p.m. on the West Coast. Who knows?
So it's like a no man's land of time.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
because everybody's just watching the West Coast feed, the East Coast feed anyway, right?
Right.
That's what my dad does.
That's what I would do.
It's hard for the West Coast people because they got to stay off social media for a few hours because then they got to wait for it to restart at 9 o'clock their time so they can watch everything.
Yeah.
Because already the East Coast is already blowing everything that's going on. Oh my God, he died.
Yeah.
And it's only 6 o'clock on the West Coast.
Yeah.
You're having dinner and like, God damn it.
Well, you shouldn't be looking at social media while you're eating.
Yeah, that's very
That's
true.
that's the lesson. No, I'm
Some
just kidding.
people don't have families, Maggie. They're home alone.
You'd be perfect for The Walking Dead.
Oh.
No family. You're set.
I wanted to ask you a couple of things, non-Walking Dead related, if
Yeah.
I could. I noticed you're in the Destiny game that just came out.
Right?
How was that?
It's so funny. I had to keep that under wraps for so long. I don't think my little brother knows yet, but his birthday's on Monday. And I got him one of the games, and it's so exciting because I had to keep that under wraps for ages. It was so much fun to do. And then we were shooting a scene the other day, and everyone was like, "Have you heard about Destiny?" I was like, "It's out! I did that!"
'Cause it's one thing being on that show where
Yeah.
the merchandising is amazing. You all have your figures and action figures and the little Funko things and all that. And just to be able to one-up them, like, oh, we all have posters and figures or whatever, and then you just go, I'm in the video game.
No, but I literally know it was, and I was just like, I was so excited because I was just like, you know, that whole game was shrouded in so much mystery as well.
Right.
So I have kind of these signposts of like who heck it is and who the character is and everything, and obviously getting to be in the game with a lot of other really cool people. But still, you don't know what they're up to, and so it's the world I live in. It's the world of don't talk about your job. Clearly, until you're on the radio, talk about your job for an hour. But
Have you played the game?
no, not yet. I'm actually going to get it this weekend.
Have
so.
you at least seen what your character is and what
Yes.
it's doing in the game?
Yes, I know the sort of basics of what she's doing, and I've seen the illustrations, but I don't know sort of the whole story overview. So it's good because then you can't possibly slip up.
That's good.
Well, I know what you're getting for Christmas. If it wasn't Walking Dead stuff for your family, you're now getting signed copies of the video game.
I know, it's funny. My aunt was joking. She saw the Funko dolls, and she was like, forgot I was on the group. We do WhatsApp in my family. And she forgot I was on one of the groups, and she goes, "Let's get tons of these and put them in Lauren's room for her birthday. We'll scare." And I was like, "Lexley, I'm on the chat." Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Do you know how hard it is to find this and Rick Grimes?
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You know, there's a blood splattered version as well.
What?
There's
I could
not very
not
many
find
of
that
that one.
one.
It's kind of like Maggie has like mud and blood kind of on her wrists.
Well, what I'm showing
kinda weird.
Lauren here is her Funko Pop figure from Walking Dead. But now you're gonna have to come back because I'll find the blood spattered one, and you're gonna have to sign that one as
Okay,
well.
cool. I'll sign this
Last
one.
question before you have to get out of here. Walking Dead on AMC. Season 5, big premiere, Sunday night, 9 p.m.
And congrats already on season 6, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Thank you.
You moving to the UK at a young age, and your mom's Scottish.
Mm-hmm.
Was there much discussion? Like, how did she feel about the big vote that they just had?
I know. I actually have to ask her about that. I don't know. I haven't asked her.
She
So
hasn't
that's-
discussed it at all? Or?
No, I mean, my parents are moving house right now, so when we talk, it's like, Lauren, do you want me to keep this picture frame in this box of journals from when you were 7? Yeah, could you?
Well, we're out of time here with Lauren. Walking Dead, like we said, season 5 on AMC, 9 p.m.
Woo, turn
8
it.
p.m.
It's gonna be
Central.
awesome.
8 p.m. Central.
This seems to be a new thing. Maybe it'll take off with the kids. Who knows? And it's at Lauren Cohan with an A, not an E, on Twitter. What else do you think is they're going to be doing with Walking Dead? Is there going to be like a video game series or?
There is actually already one that I was going to say Merle and Daryl did, and then beyond that, I think there's another computer game. I'm not completely up on all the computer games that are coming from the show, but I think there's 2 already. So
You're going to be in those as well. You got to start playing them.
Yeah, I know. I do a lot of zombie in the daytime. That sounds weird. I spend a lot of time with zombies in the daytime, so I'm not doing as much of it on the TV.
Well, that's it. Thank
Video
you very
games.
much.
I
Lauren.
lost
really
my power of
appreciate-
English.
It's okay. Have some coffee. We're all going to go to sleep. Have a good night.
Bye.
Eric Nagel. You know, E-Rock? Well, he'll be right back.